What up, guys? Welcome back. So today we're talking about the Beats Studio Pro, a $350 pair of headphones from Apple. Finally, a replacement for the Studio 3s. We're going to talk about this, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you if they're worth it or not. $350 is a heavy price tag, and especially with all of the competition out there. But if you're new to the channel, hit that like, drop a sub. But the new Studio Pros. This is the navy colorway. Very dark, still kind of looks black, but it is a navy color on here. And there are a bunch of different colors that you can pick up, from black to like a cream color or silver as they call it. But I do have the navy color here. And I do have some videos coming in the future, well, in like a week, comparing these to like the Sony XM5s and some other headphones. So stay tuned for that. But let's go over the specs really quick, and I'll just get into the video, honestly. So Studio Pros, the packaging, kind of like the XM5 packaging, that eco-friendly packaging, which I like. And you just open this up, and it's just like a crate, like an egg crate feeling to it. And then we get QR code to scan. We also get all of the touch controls on here, as you can see. And I'm happy to say that, of course, these do have full touch controls, including switching back and forth between ANC and transparency mode, as well as your Google Assistant or Siri if you are on an iPhone, volume control, all that good stuff. We do get some Beats stickers, always a good thing. And then we have the Apple Care and battery, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about the rest of that stuff. Now we also get a USB-C to plug these in, and you can use these even if they're dead. You can use them, and you can plug them into your phone or to your computer, and you can get better audio quality. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but you can get lossless audio, and there's spatial audio on here as well on an iPhone. Now we do get the 3.5 also to connect if you want to connect that way. Now the actual headphones here, and we'll look at these while we go over the specs really quick. So Bluetooth 5.3, ANC, and transparency mode. There is app support with fast pair on iOS and Android devices. Full touch controls. We talked about lossless and spatial audio. Battery life on here is 40 hours with ANC off and about 24 hours with ANC on. There is a fast charge feature. 10 minutes will get you about another 4 hours of battery life. Some good mics on here. We'll do a mic test, of course. Now there is, again, you can plug these in, get lossless audio, and we'll go into that, but I'll show you how to do it. You press the power button twice, and it gives you some different options depending on what type of music, or if you're listening to an audiobook, you can switch back and forth between those. But the actual headphones here, let's take a look at this case really quick. So these things are not perfect by any means, and I'm going to tell you right now, these are overpriced. And we're talking about bang for buck and value, what's on the market. So at $350, you better bring it. And what they did here, they're good headphones, don't get me wrong, but are they worth $350? No. For me, straight up, about 150 bucks compared to what else is out there on the market. I could buy a pair of Soundcore headphones or Edifier headphones that are half the price, and that give me just as much as these do with better audio quality out of the box. So just keep that in mind. Now for $350, we're getting this pouch. We'll call it a pouch. It's better than what we had on the AirPods Max, of course, but there's no protection here. It's cool looking, but the one thing I hate about this thing, it doesn't open all the way. It like zippers halfway. Like, at least let me open it 3/4. So when you're pulling these out, right, you got to fold these up. You got to kind of stuff them in here. They're not getting any protection anyway. And then when you pull them out, it's a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. It's kind of annoying. The bag sucks. Just straight up, the bag sucks. I'm not a fan of this bag. It's not that great, especially, look, these are 350 bucks. Now, the actual headphones here, the Beats branding on the ear cup, and I've always liked how the Beats headphones looked. We do get a little bit of padding up here. It's not that big of a deal because these are so light. Of course, it does fold, but listen to that. You guys hear that? I have never heard a pair of headphones that sound like this when you fold them. It sounds awful. And then this. That's kind of normal, right? But it's still loud. You hear that? These, I feel like they're gonna break. Like, this does not sound good for a pair of $350 headphones. It sounds terrible. I do like the look. Now, the ear cups are wide enough. They're shallow though, right? They're not that thick. They're not that tall, which I don't mind. I actually prefer it. You can kind of feel the inside of the ear cup on your head, but it doesn't bother me in any way. I just hate the bag, and I hate this. It sounds like they're gonna snap. It sounds cheap in my opinion, and when you pay 350 bucks, I did buy these with my own money. These were not sent to me. When you pay that type of money, I'm not looking for cheap. I'm not looking for a cheap feel, to be honest with you. Now, we'll take a look at the app really quick, and then we'll go into what else these things have to offer. Now, once you connect these to the app, and again, this is available on iOS and Android devices. If you're using an Android device, it's the actual Beats app. But if you're using an iPhone, you just go into Bluetooth, you click on the little info button, and you are in, and you're good to go from there. Not a lot to do inside of the app. That is another downside with these. There's no EQ control. There is nothing like that inside of the app, unfortunately. But you can scroll between noise cancellation, turning it off, or transparency mode, but you can also control that directly here from the headphones. Now you can just rename your product if you want, product features, your noise cancellation, press twice on the system button, and that will scroll through ANC and transparency mode, and I'll show you that right now. So if we click, see, they call it the system button, it's just a power button. So if we click twice on this, you can see it will go to noise cancellation, and we do it again, transparency mode. Now, once these are plugged in, that is a different thing that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Now, if we scroll down, you can change the call controls, answer call, end call. Just leave it the way it is. That's kind of how it works. Just press once on the physical button, and it will answer and end a phone call. And of course, all of your controls are here from the physical button. You have volume control, you have next track, previous track, your voice assistant, and then, like I just showed you, how to go into ANC and transparency mode using the power button on here. So full controls, which is a fantastic thing in my opinion, but we kind of expect that on headphones at this point. But when it comes to the app, that is it. That's all we can do inside of the app. Now, watching content and gaming on here, you can do some light gaming on here. I didn't notice any delay between audio and video. I'm watching videos on here, YouTube videos, whatever it is, no delay between audio and video. Now, we did talk about the touch control. So again, full control over everything. Let's talk about ANC and transparency mode on the Beats Studio Pro. So we do get really good ANC, and we do get very good transparency mode on here. They are not top tier. If, you know, AirPods Max or AirPods in general have the best transparency mode, which they tend to do, then these are the step beneath that. These are very good for what they are for $350. Remember the AirPods Max and everything, they cost a lot more money than these. Even still, they're more expensive than the Beats Studio Pro. But the problem I have, it is a very natural sounding, which isn't the problem. The problem is there's a bunch of white noise that does come in when you are using transparency mode. However, it still is very good, and it still does sound very natural. There is just that added bit of white noise that you can come in, and that's what separates the best from, say, the second tier. The best, like the AirPods Max, when it comes to transparency mode, there is no white noise. You're just getting a natural sound and you're hearing everything. Now, it's kind of the same thing for the ANC. It's a step below the top tier when it comes to ANC. And again, there is actually white noise when listening to ANC on these headphones, which is kind of weird. I never really hear that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Most of the time, I never notice it on here. When you're just sitting there and you're testing out the ANC and you're going back between ANC, turning it off, and then transparency mode, the amount of white noise that comes in is the same on transparency mode and ANC. It's a little weird. I haven't really experienced this too much, but the ANC, even saying that, the ANC on here is very, very good. It's just not top tier. It's just a step below, but it is very good. Now, let's talk about the audio quality and the volume on these headphones. So volume-wise, when you are listening to these over Bluetooth, they are loud enough. You know, you guys know I like to dial it up, find that sweet spot, and I can do that, but my sweet spot on here is probably 85-90%. So we're pushing the limit of the volume on here with the Beats Studio Pro. But overall, I think volume-wise, it's enough for everybody if you're using these wireless. Now, the sound quality on here, it's good. It's not great. They're a fun pair of earbuds. If you're thinking about Beats and headphones, this kind of just falls in line with the rest of the headphones. Like, It's got good bass. There are better bangers out there when it comes to the amount of bass, but there's good bass on here. The mids are just okay. The highs are just okay. They're a dynamic sounding pair of headphones. They're a fun pair of headphones. These are good for the gym and things like that, but the audio quality is not going to blow you away. Now, we talked about the USB-C cable before, and if you want the best listening experience, and this is like a good and a bad when it comes to the USB-C. Now, on an iPhone, spatial audio on here, I think it does sound better listening to these on an iPhone if you're using wireless because of spatial audio. Some people like that, some people don't. But if I am using these wireless, I tend to use my iPhone. And if I want to plug them in with the USB-C, of course, I'm going to use my Android device. But there is one downside to plugging these in, and that is the volume. It is drastically reduced when using these plugged in. There is a hell of a lot more clarity when using this plugged in to even your Android device, whether the S23 Ultra, whatever it is, an Android device. You can plug it in, you can get lossless. It does clean up the audio. You're getting less bass, but it's cleaner bass. You're getting better mids and highs, and it's a little crispier, and you can tell there is more detail and more, not more punch, but cleaner punch when it comes to the bass. So, but you lose volume. So you're losing volume, and for me, what that volume loss, then it's not enough. It's not enough volume. It's drastically reduced and it sounds good. But if you were to wear these out and about plugged in and it's noisy, you might hear the outside just as much as you're going to hear the music on the headphones. So if you're going to plug these in, you're going to want to do it in a quiet space and then enjoy the better quality music that way. But look, these are something I just can't recommend. They're a good pair of headphones, but like I said earlier in the video, $150 to $200, that's where they belong. They don't belong any higher than that. Soundcore has headphones that are just as good, that sound better than these. And there are some new ones in the works that are dropping soon that sound better than these for half the price. You know, the XM5s from Sony, when it comes to audio quality and ANC, they blow these out of the water, and they're only $50 more in price. So bang for buck value, I do not see the value here with the Beats Fit or Beats Studio Pro. I do like them. You know, they're cool. I've always liked Beats products. They've always been expensive, even before Apple purchased Beats. They've always been a sport, higher end pair of headphones, but that wasn't because they were good. That's because they built up a name, sent it out to the athletes, and then, you know, people would see that and be like, oh, my favorite athlete is using these. I need to pick these up. It's kind of a brand, just like Apple is a brand. That's what these are. As far as if you want bang for buck, if you want value, there's much better headphones out there than the Studio Pros. They're not terrible. They're just overpriced by at least $150. At least. That's minimum $150. But one more thing, we're going to do a mic test so you guys can hear the mics, because the mics on here are actually pretty good. All right, guys, the mic test on the Beats Studio Pros. The mics on here sound fairly good. Well, not fairly good. They sound good. Not as good as say, the AirPods Max, but still good when taking phone calls. And overall, not bad. Let me know what you think. Drop some comments below. But that's it, guys. The Beats Studio Pro. I did buy these, well, so you don't have to. Let me know what you think. Hit that like, drop a sub. I'll be back soon. Peace.